Alright, so welcome back to another video. This week we're working on my truck. We're going to be trying to bring it back to life a little because it hasn't been running right for almost a year now. I ignored it, but now we gotta deal with it. So the first thing I did, I thought it was plug cats. I'm like, I've seen that before on these trucks a few times actually. So I was like, that feels like what it is. So we cut the cats off. Unfortunately, that wasn't one of those, so we welded the cats back on really quick. It wasn't quick, it took a little while. Welded the cats back on. Then we realized, alright, maybe I should check the engine code. That's usually a good place to start. I like to do it second, I like to jump to conclusions, make hasty decisions, then do the smart thing, check the engine code. So we did that second. We found out that the crankshaft position sensor had thrown a code for that. So we pulled the starter out, got that out, dropped the bolts in the bell housing of this transmission. Ooh, that was rough. Took a few hours with a magnet. We got the bolt out though, didn't have to pull the transmission, so that was fantastic. The next thing that we did was we popped that old sensor out of there, got our new one in. We went to put the starter back in. Truck wouldn't start. Could you believe it? So looked at the wiring in the starter, it was shot, completely rotted off. So we picked up a new starter because it was completely corroded all over the place. We chopped a bit of the wiring off because it was corroded down there, and we put all new wiring in, like a foot of new wiring in. Eventually I would love to run all new wiring because it's probably corroded most of the way up if the wiring was corroded, but I don't have time for that. I just want to get the truck back on the road for work because I've been working a lot. Luckily my dad has just had surgery, so we were able to use his truck, but I've been working a whole bunch lately, so that's why the videos have been a little sporadic. Start of the season, it's just been taking a bit between videos, and I've been working a decent amount of nights on this thing, but I wasn't really going to film it because I thought it was going to be quick, but we're into a whole project now, so it is what it is. The next thing that we have to do now, after we pulled that starter off, we got all new wiring on there. Looks pretty good if you ask me, I think so. But now we have to do a crankshaft position sensor relearn. But to do that, we have to get rid of any check engine code lights. So I have a knock sensor code, which I need to get rid of. So we need to pull the whole valve cover off the top to get to the knock sensor. I've learned that from reading the forums and everything, that once you get the knock sensor out, a lot of time the connector's rotted too, so they sell the connector. Luckily I found it pretty cheap online. While we're in there changing the knock sensor though, figure we might as well replace the oil pressure switch and put new gaskets on, because we gotta pull the whole intake off the top of it and everything. So while we're in there, just gonna replace everything that we can get to because why not? Might as well, right? After that, ooh, man, this is messed up. But after we get that all changed up, then we gotta take it in and get the relearn done. I really wanted to buy myself a scan tool. I found one for like 500 bucks. Would have worked on the Volkswagen and everything, but I don't think I can be wasting 500 bucks right now. I just put a whole bunch of money into this thing, so gotta save some money back up. But yeah, we're gonna get the whole intake pulled off and everything, and get to it. Alright, I also forgot that we put a new mass airflow sensor in it. There was a set code for that, so just toss a new one in, good to go. If you have one of these trucks, this is a 2003 Silverado 2500 HD 6.0. The 6.0, pretty much all the parts are the same for like the 5.3, the 4.8, everything. So when you call the parts store and stuff for things like this, a lot of time the price will be a lot higher. Like some of these prices were insane, but I go online and you find matching part numbers that fit everything, and you can pick up the stuff for a fraction of the cost a lot of the time. A lot of people are probably like, yeah, obviously, but just in case you didn't know, I've figured that out a lot more with these. Some of we probably saved like $300 on the parts that we're about to replace right now. And I think this mass airflow sensor was like 40 bucks more or something like that. So saved a lot of money. Just a good little tip. Alright, so we got the harness disconnected, all the injectors unplugged, got all this undone, got it all ready, so we can go down, take the intake off, and see how nasty this is going to be underneath here. Just got 4 bolts here and it should pop right off, but yeah, let's get to it. Oh, I actually did forget the fuel lines, so we gotta get the fuel lines off first. Alright, so I had to run into town about 30 minutes. Grab myself a tool for disconnecting the brake line. Apparently I didn't have one. I thought I did. Oh well, that's life. We got in there, we dipped, we ducked, we dodged. All the peddlers, you know, the guys in the aisles trying to sell you the credit card, and the guys out front trying to sell you the window cleaning stuff. Canadian Tire's gotten pretty bad. I don't know what's going on, but if one more of those motherfuckers tries to sell me a credit card in the aisle of Canadian Tire, I'm gonna lose my mind on them. It is so annoying. Alright, so it was raining a bit, so I had some food. It's kind of calmed down a little bit, still sprinkling, but I have a spot for you up underneath the hood, so it should be fine. This cover's getting a little bath, so that's nice too. But yeah, we're gonna get to this now, get it fixed up. Alright, this little tool works pretty dang good.
1 hour later.
Oh, there we go. That one was stuck a little bit, but we got it. Alright, so we got the fuel lines off, whatever this is. We got the wiring harness all pulled off. So now we just got, I think, 4 bolts on each side. Down here, should be able to pull this whole thing off. Okay, so that's pretty bad. We're definitely gonna have to get it cleaned out of there. We'll have to put some rags in all the intakes and everything like that. We'll get what we can out first, but then we'll put some rags in there. We'll get all this cleaned up. We'll probably hit them with the vacuum after. Clean up all the face and everything like that, because this is gunky and looks like some animal using it for its home. Have to make sure we get that peach pit out of there. But yeah. Alright, so we're definitely gonna have to get that cleaned up. I'm gonna go put on some gloves though first. Okay, so went and got some gloves because I don't want to get my nice clean hands dirty. And then also picked up a flashlight just in case it gets a little dark. A little penetrating fluid to loosen up our problem there. Alright, first things first. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Peach pit. Get it out of there. Almost lost it. That would have been tragic. I need to get myself situated here better. Oh, I also grabbed myself a little scraper. Figure that'll help. Right. Just pulling leaves that are got kind of pulled into it out. Oh, lost some there. But we'll get the shop vac out later. And we'll try to grab as much as we can. But I just want to get what I can out. Do what I can, you know? I mean, to be honest, if this goes in there, it'll probably burn up and just get pulled through. Should be fine. Get anything that fell in there out of there. Okay. So, now the next step, got a whole whack of rags here. Brand new out of the pack. So, we will stuff them in here. There we go. So yeah, we're just gonna stuff these all in here, and then we'll start cleaning up. So I'm gonna throw it on time lapse, and I'll check back in with you when I'm done. Okie dokie, so I forgot to turn on the camera when I was vacuuming that out, but I put the rags back in when I was done there. Now we gotta get these covers off. They're pretty gunky. They honestly aren't terrible, but I mean, might as well replace it. We're in there. Ugh. It's in between here. It's pretty nasty. and around it. So use the wax and grease remover and a new cloth, and we'll get that cleaned up around there. Okie dokie, so we got the new gaskets here. I'm not gonna put these on. We're just gonna do the intake manifold gaskets. I wonder if they matter what side they go on. I guess it's like this. Okay, so the little tabs go down, but these don't have the clip-ons like those ones do, so we'll have to put them on the engine first, and then we'll put this, carry this out there and put it on. So let's go to the engine. Okay, so now we can get all the rags pulled out of here. We did already vacuum it out and just kind of stick them back in loosely, just so nothing fell in while I was inside cleaning out the intake. But we can pull them all out, put our gaskets in, and get ready to go. Okay, so tabs go down. Remember that. Alright, so we got those in. We had to clean out around the head studs because these ones hook onto like the bolts there just to stay in place. So we cleaned that out with the pick, and now we're gonna go grab the intake and put it on here. Hopefully get it finished up before it's too late. There we go, get all the gas out for the most part. I say that as just dumping gas out everywhere. Okay. So, gotta get it all underneath all of this gear. Gotta put it back so we can get the throttle body on. Push it back a little bit. Alright, throttle body on. Oh, okay, we are off on this side here. Okay, so my phone died, but we got it all put back together. Kind of boring stuff anyway, so you didn't need to see it. All tucked out, tucked back together, put away. We got the cover cleaned up and everything and put back on. I thought I'd show you here is the nasty parts. Oh, oops. There's the broken old rotted out connector. And, oh, there we go. There's the old sensor that was rotted out and bad. So yeah, you can see why it was bad. But Got the keys, so let's go start this thing up and fingers crossed, take it for a little drive and see how it goes. Phone's only at like 2% or 3%. But fingers crossed the sound feels okay. Alright, idling pretty well it feels like, so that's good news. No check engine light yet, so that's good news. Let's hit the road here. Get some high beams on so you can see. There we go. It's got the get up and go it didn't have all last year. So that's good news. Man, this thing's feeling a lot better. I mean, I guess when you replace 4 things that were throwing codes and a few other things, that's what happens. We still gotta get that relearn done. Although it's feeling pretty good right now, I still do think it needs it. So we'll pay for that on Monday. But not too shabby. I'm happy to get it all back together and driving well. Okay, so took it for a 5-minute drive there. No check engine light came on, felt pretty good. Besides the exhaust leaks that I caused, but whatever, that's life. Still gotta take it to get the crankshaft position sensor relearn done on Monday. And then we'll swing by a car wash, give it a nice cleanup, get rid of all the bird poo and everything else and dirt. Just get it looking fresh. And we'll call this a video, but yeah. It's Saturday night right now, so I'm gonna go relax. It's pretty late. And then I'll see you Monday. Well, I guess for you, I'll see you right about... Okay, so I tested this thing a little bit more after, and it started throwing random misfire code. I'm pretty sure that's because it needs the crankshaft position sensor relearn still. But with that came a code for both of the knock sensors. Before it was just the first bank, the really rusty one I showed you. But now it's for both. So either something's wrong in the wiring, or the sensors are bad, so we're gonna have to tear back into it and figure out what it is. So I'm gonna start tearing into it, trying to diag that. We'll check the wiring, because if both are bad, then the most likely thing is that something like the wiring's pinched or corroded, or the connector isn't good or something like that. So we'll check the wiring. Hopefully we don't have to pull it all back apart. I have seen some other options we can kind of go into. But we're gonna start off with the most simple thing. Just check the wiring, check the connectors, see if they're corroded. Maybe we'll clean up the connectors on the other side, because I did look at the connectors on the old one and they were corroded. So it's possible that that whole wire is corroded. I've seen that happen too online. I was doing some looking up. Okay, so I pulled the electrical connector apart. There was a little corrosion in there, so I just kind of scrape it away, make it better metal. Hopefully that gets a better connection. And then I made the connectors where it goes in. I made them a little tighter so it actually squeezes it. It felt like maybe it was a little loose there, possibly too. Because the check engine light was going on and then off, and then on and then off. So I'm thinking maybe it was that's a possibility. It was kind of touching in there. I should get some of that electrical spray, like for the end of your connectors, and maybe spray that in there. That might help it out. The next thing we're gonna do is I saw some people saying that you had to completely reset the vehicle. So we're gonna disconnect the battery. It started raining pretty bad on me here, so I'm gonna head inside. But alright, vehicle, sorry. But yeah, so we're gonna disconnect the battery, leave it for 15 minutes or so, and then we'll probably a little bit longer just while the rain passes over, and then that should reset the whole all the electronics in the car. It'll lose their memory and stuff like that. That could help as well. So we'll do that and then see what happens, I guess. We still do need to get the relearn done, but if there's check engine lights on, they won't do the relearn, I guess. I did look into buying a scan tool, but it's $500, so I don't know if I'm gonna do that. But yeah, the place I took it to, they said they can't, their tool can't do the relearn while there's a check engine light on. So I pretty much need to get rid of the check engine light. So we can't have any more knock sensor lights coming on. The random misfire though, I'm pretty sure is from the crankshaft position sensor, needing the relearn. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work out, but we'll see what happens. But I want to just make sure this knock sensor one goes away first. But yeah, this is a little bit of a pain. I need this vehicle back. Luckily it's raining today, so I have a rain day to try to figure this out, but it's getting annoying. Okay, so I've spent a few hours going through forums, trying to fiddle with the wiring, all that stuff. Sorry, car was going by. The battery thing didn't work. So we went through the wiring, we unplugged the harness, the new harness here. I made sure it wasn't pinched. And then I unplugged the harness here. We tested both connectors on it, and it read the proper ohms it's supposed to. It was 100,000 ohms on both of them. So then we came down and we traced it down to the ECM where it goes in here. I did a lot more research finding out which more pins it was. It's these two right on the middle of my screen here. I'll circle them. The ones up and down of each other. So we tested that with these again, and it was 100,000 ohms through. And then just to double check that I had the right ones, I unplugged it, test again, it was 0. So we had the right thing. So that means that it's reading both the knock sensors the way it's supposed to. So the knock sensor code, I think, is probably caused by the misfire, but the mechanic can't he can't program the crankshaft position sensor while there's an engine code, so I don't know what to do. I would think that he would just like clear it, but he said he couldn't do that, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to maybe go to see if my friends that I work with at Toyota, I used to work at Toyota, and maybe my friends over there can let me use a scan tool. So maybe I'll drive this thing in there and just try to do it myself, but we'll have to see. I don't know. It's getting a little frustrating. Well, last night we traced all the wiring, made sure that it was all the electrical in it was fine. And then this morning I went in, thank goodness, 2 of my best friends, they work at Toyota, and I went in, they spent their entire lunch with me. We used 2 scan tools there. Second one finally got it to work, and we were able to do the relearn. So I'm driving the truck. We're using it for work and stuff now. And I thank them a bunch, but just again, Luke and Cody, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, this is driving me nuts. I was having a fucking time getting all this figured out, so I'm so happy to have my truck back. I can get back to work and working hard and everything. But yeah, that was a big pain, but I'm really happy that we got it all back. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. We got the truck finished up, all tidied up, ready for the season to go. It's not perfect, but hey, we got it now. It's working, so we're just gonna call it a day. We're happy with that. Working's better than not working, right? So, but yeah. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.